Aller vite et bien dans la guerre et le développement, c'est l'ambition affichée par le chef de l'État, le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré, face aux forces vives de la région du plateau central.
On Thursday, late morning, the president of Burkina Faso, head of state, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, met with a delegation of customary leaders from the Central Plateau region. Led by Naba Sanam, chief of Zignare, the delegation discussed key issues with the head of state, including peace, territorial reclamation, and national development. They commended Captain Traoré for his dedication and efforts toward restoring peace and fostering progress in Burkina Faso. President Traoré provided an update on Burkina Faso's security situation, highlighting achievements and new strategic directions in the ongoing struggle. He emphasized the continued efforts to equip and strengthen the forces to reclaim lost territory.
The most dangerous battle we are fighting today is the war of communication. And I hope everyone understands this. It's not the first time we've seen this. And by now, Burkinabés and Africans should recognize what a communication war looks like. Fortunately for us, as Thomas Sankara once said, imperialism is a bad student, one that never learns. No matter how many times it is challenged, it returns with the same outdated methods. This becomes almost laughable when you look at imperialist media today. They use the same tactics they once employed to ignite conflict in Rwanda, to liberate Sudan, and to interfere across Africa. But this time, it won't work. Many of these media outlets, especially Jeune Afrique, tried to court us between 2022 and 2023. They reached out through various channels, offering to clean up our image for a price. We refused, and they cannot deny it. We have the evidence. This is their system. They take money to fabricate positive narratives, and if you refuse to pay, they create lies to tarnish your reputation. Many heads of state fall into this trap, paying monthly for favorable articles. This is dangerous, and all of Africa must be aware. If Africa is to move forward, we must stop listening to these deceptive media outlets. A single lie, repeated often enough, becomes a perceived reality, and that is dangerous. We experience this firsthand every day, which is why I constantly remind people to be vigilant. Their goal is simple: divide and rule. Each of us must recognize these tactics and help inform others so that together we remain united in building our country. Our mission is clear. We will develop Burkina Faso into something they never imagined possible. Africa must wake up and break free from the cycle of conflict. For years, we have been manipulated, turned against each other, all to enable the plundering of our resources. But today, in Burkina Faso, one thing is certain: terrorism is nearly over. So what do they do next? Either create a new crisis or push us into a civil war. That's their strategy, and we are prepared for it. Everyone must remain cautious because manipulation is their weapon. If people allow themselves to be deceived, they will be used against their own country. Our objective is clear, and we will achieve it. This is the mission we have been assigned, and I urge everyone to take it seriously. The forces trying to keep Africa weak are not only outside the continent, some operate from within. The truth must be told, even if it hurts, because only by confronting reality can we move forward. In Burkina Faso, there are those who resist change, those who wish to remain at the top alone. But we have made our decision. We will strengthen the state and distribute wealth more fairly. Already misinformation has begun, especially from those who benefited from the old system. When we launched new development initiatives, many entrepreneurs tried to mislead the youth. They spread lies about how contracts were awarded, but the reality is that many projects were delayed due to poor execution. Recently, a minister inspected ongoing projects, and you all saw the results on television. It's moving too slowly. We are encouraging people to unite and work together, but some refuse. If they won't do it voluntarily, we will find ways to ensure cooperation, because we cannot wait centuries for Burkina Faso to develop. Our vision is clear. In 5 years, we want to see real progress. To accelerate our efforts, we have invested in new equipment for infrastructure, water management, and energy projects. We are already building dams along the Bourgo Road, and we will continue to develop our resources with or without outside support. Another challenge we face is the reluctance of banks to support state projects and businesses. Many banks operate using state funds, yet they refuse to finance local initiatives. This must change. If bankers continue to resist, we will take measures to ensure that the money deposited by state-owned companies is used for national development. The era of allowing a few to profit while the people suffer is over. We will not back down. We are committed to reclaiming our entire territory. Some regions may not yet see the full impact of our actions, but war is an evolving process. We will systematically clear these areas and advance step by step, cutting off resources to those who oppose us. As I have said before, they have only one choice: to return to the homeland or disappear. I hope everyone understands that we are no longer simply living, but engaged in a war for independence. It is crucial that everyone realizes this. It's only logical for imperialists to impose this war on us. If we manage to develop, they will no longer be able to grow. They will have to regress. If we succeed in transforming our raw materials, their factories will close. Do you see the logic? That's why they fight to destabilize our society, keeping us in a constant state of war so that we can never focus on development. The war is now being fought on all fronts, particularly in terms of communication and information, as shown by the recent publications of certain media outlets working for the enemy. For my part, if I have one regret in my life, it is the time I spent at a certain point in my past, hours from morning to noon and evening, listening to radio stations like RFI, France 24, and others. Today, I realize how deeply they manipulate information, amplifying narratives to mislead. You have to step back and analyze everything carefully. These media outlets, especially Jeune Afrique, made efforts to approach us around 2022 and 2023. They tried multiple channels to get close, offering to clean up our image for a price. We refused, and they cannot deny it because we have the evidence. This is how they operate. Many heads of state fall into their trap, paying money every month for articles to enhance their image.
Thank you, Africa.
Especially
Mama Africa. You make African great. Thank you, freedom. Thank you, Africa.
that money to be used for development. However, some argue that releasing these funds would weaken their banks. Meanwhile, every year, these banks generate 32 billion in interest. Recently, I reviewed a bank making billions in profits from these practices. Either we come to an agreement at the table, or we will adopt another approach. This morning, I wanted to make this statement so that everyone understands. The fight ahead will stir things up. As noon approaches, be cautious, because the same people who oppose this will spread misinformation, create lies, and try to divert attention from the real issue. We are only asking for a percentage, not all the money. Some banks have complied, but most have yet to transfer the funds. We set a deadline for the end of March, and that deadline remains firm. If by then the 25% is not transferred, we will take action. Air France said it is not coming to Burkina Faso because the country is in a red zone. However, other airlines continue to operate there, which means Air France is lying. If other companies are still flying to Burkina Faso, then Air France's reasoning does not hold. The imperialists are strong. They create their own narratives and use certain companies to reinforce their lies. They claimed Burkina Faso was in danger, yet they still wanted to send Air France to support this false image. But their deception didn't work because other airlines continued their operations. Later, when the situation turned green, Air France wanted to resume flights. Now, they must officially acknowledge that the country is safe again before they return.
In response to concerns raised by representatives from various social strata, the president of Faso denounced this phenomenon in Burkina Faso and across Africa. He exposed the intentions and strategies behind it, emphasizing that it must be fought across all sectors of development. Again, the president of Burkina Faso calls for caution. Growth shows a significant improvement, marking a step toward self-sufficiency. The authorities are encouraging a general mobilization to support this progress. During this meeting, the president of the Senate took the opportunity to remind banks and other financial institutions that many of them operate with state funds. Banks were asked to return a portion of these funds, which led to deposits being made on the ground for development purposes. The inauguration of the Lango cement plant set the stage for a significant face-to-face meeting between the president and the driving forces of the Central Plateau region. Lasting more than an hour, this exchange provided an opportunity for representatives from the three provinces to express their commitment and unwavering support for President Ibrahim Traoré. As I speak to you now, he stated, several operations are already underway. Abandoned for years, we have now reclaimed what was once lost. We are in the consolidation phase and continue to secure our borders. In the coming days, you will be informed of everything we have recovered, and we will establish a lasting presence in these areas.
Parce que nous travaillons à maîtriser actuellement les dépenses militaires pour pouvoir injecter dans notre éducation. Parce que l'éducation, c'est la clé. Donc, on ne vous a pas oublié tous ces problèmes cités. Je parlais donc même des laboratoires au ministre. Je dis de trouver un standard, un certain nombre d'équipements minimum, et on va construire des laboratoires dignes de ce nom dans nos universités. Parce que des gens vont venir faire une filière scientifique, aller sortir, même microscope, il n'a pas pu regarder une cellule végétale au microscope. Ce n'est pas possible. Oui, nous tous on a fait les séries scientifiques. Pour avoir accès au petit laboratoire, vous rentrez s'il n'y a que 7 ou 8 microscopes. Peut-être même tout ne fonctionne pas. Tout le monde ne peut pas avoir accès. C'est la réalité, c'est toujours ça. Donc, il est là-dessus. On veut créer des laboratoires types dans beaucoup de nos universités. Vous ne pouvez pas venir et ne pas pouvoir avoir accès à un certain minimum d'équipements scientifiques de laboratoire pour faire vos tests et vous familiariser. C'est dans ça qu'on peut créer. Si on n'a pas développé ce volet laboratoire, on a des théoriciens qu'on crée. Et j'étais surpris même d'apprendre que même au niveau de nos chercheurs, il n'y a pas de microscope électronique à balayage au Burkina. Depuis que le Burkina existe, il n'y a pas ça. Et j'ai demandé au ministre, j'ai dit, mais comment vous faites donc la recherche? On est obligé d'aller à l'extérieur, louer des laboratoires, payer de l'argent pour faire. Pendant que le microscope électronique à balayage, je ne pense pas que ça coûte le milliard. Et comment on ne peut pas le faire? Actuellement, on est en train de payer ça pour installer au Burkina, pour qu'on puisse faire tout sur place ici. Donc, j'espère que d'ici là, tout ça sera opérationnel et que ça puisse profiter donc, aux étudiants même, aux chercheurs, aux scientifiques, pour pouvoir avancer dans leurs recherches. Les salles informatiques et tout ce qui s'ensuit. Donc, on va voir tout ce qui est possible. Le ministère même avait déjà lancé pour acquérir un certain nombre d'ordinateurs pour que les étudiants puissent avoir les salles de façon bien équipée. Et c'est fait avec le Burkinabé, c'est ça? Il y a une unité burkinabé qui fabrique des ordinateurs. Donc, on a fait une convention la dernière fois pour pouvoir payer beaucoup d'équipements avec lui et équiper nos centres universitaires. Et vous aurez donc accès normalement à ces salles-là pour que vous puissiez faire vos recherches. Et l'Internet, je pense que ça, c'est en train de s'améliorer dans beaucoup d'universités. L'Internet est là maintenant pour les recherches. On peut aller vite et très bien dans la guerre et dans le développement. Nous avons foi, nous ne perdons jamais espoir, nous sommes vraiment très confiants. Et tant qu'on vous voit motivé, mobilisé, c'est notre carburant comme ça. On ne se fatigue jamais On va continuer d'avancer dans ce sens-là. Et je disais donc à tous les ministres, j'ai dit de serrer la ceinture. Depuis qu'on est là, il n'y a pas de vacances gouvernementales. Ça travaille 24 sur 24. L'ALT aussi, c'est ça. Il n'y a pas de vacances pour que des députés aillent se coucher au village. Il faut travailler 24 sur 24, 12 mois sur 12. Donc on est dans ce rythme. Tant que les soldats au front n'ont pas de repos, il n'y a pas de raison que derrière on ait du repos. Et j'invite donc toute l'administration à se mettre au pas ainsi pour accompagner donc les forces vives dans tout ce qu'ils font. Et donc je pense que petit à petit il y a de la progression, on voit beaucoup de changements de comportement. Il faut qu'on arrive à totalement changer la donne. Le Burkina Faso est une référence et nous devons maintenir le flambeau